Hi, in this video, I'm going to take you through IELTS speaking. Let's discuss how to express likes and dislikes while you speak. Now we know that in IELTS speaking, very often in the first part of speaking, you're asked certain questions where you have to express your like or your dislike towards that particular thing. For instance, a question like, do you like chocolates? You have to say whether you like it or not. Now we know in part 1 of speaking, whenever we are asked a question, we need to try and respond in around 2 or 3 sentences. Now the idea behind 2 to 3 sentences is just to give you a knowledge on how many sentences you need to speak or how long should you respond. So it shouldn't be a very long answer where you continuously speak on the topic. You should be able to answer in brief. At the same time, an answer in a single word or a single sentence is also not advisable. Remember, your IELTS speaking is a test of your proficiency in English. So it's up to you to make use of the opportunity, and every opportunity you have is every question that is asked. Now, if you don't utilize your opportunities well, you will not be able to get a good score in your IELTS speaking. So, when you answer your part 1 questions, try expanding it into 2 or 3 sentences. So, we respond to the question and we try and give a reason to it, or we expand our answer by giving an example. That is how we can speak for around 2 to 3 sentences. Now, when we speak for long, we would have answered the question and we would probably be repeating a lot of things and just prolonging our answers, and that doesn't help much. Now, some students prefer to be talking until the examiner asks the next question. I wouldn't advise on that either. So, let's get started with the specific aspect of IELTS speaking, that is expressing your likes and dislikes. What kinds of questions are asked in part 1 of speaking where you need to express your liking towards it or your dislike towards it? There are instances when we do not really like or dislike, maybe we're somewhere in between. What are these possible questions? Let's see a couple of them. The first one, as you can see on screen, do you like mathematics? Do you like? Well, you can speak about whether you like it, and if yes, you can say why. You can also say why you don't like it. So answering in negative is a possibility here. Do you enjoy dining out at restaurants? Again, the word used here is do you enjoy? It really looks forward to a response where you say you like it or you do not prefer it. Another kind of question is, do you like your job? You can see these words, do you like, do you enjoy? Or look at the fourth question for that matter. Do you prefer to have a small group of friends or a lot of friends? So your preference also falls in this category. Do you enjoy reading? Do you like driving? Where do you like to sit? In a car. So basically a preference of seating. Did you like your school when you were a child? Now here it is, did you like? So the questions so far were, do you like mathematics? Do you enjoy dining out? So it is not talking about a past event, but it's talking about your routine or daily habits. So something that even right now is being practiced. But this particular question, did you like your school when you were a child? Well, it is talking about the past, but again your preference. What don't you like about your home? What don't you like? What you do not like about your home? Do you like talking to strangers? And do you like getting up early in the morning? So yes, it could be something about your past preferences, it could be about your current preferences. But these types of questions are hugely possible in your part 1 of IELTS speaking. Now we've seen the variations in which these questions can be asked. The word like can be used, don't like can be used, enjoy can be used, prefer can be used. So all of these are checking your preferences on that particular matter. How do we express our likes? What are the words you can use? And if you don't like it, how do I express it? For instance, do you enjoy reading? Now, just because it says, do you enjoy reading, it is not mandatory that I have to say, yes, I enjoy reading. Now, instead, I can also say, no, I don't. So, how do you express your dislike? Similarly, where do you like to sit in a car? Now, maybe you don't have a fixed preference. Sometimes you like to sit in this particular seat, sometimes on the other side. So, if it varies, okay, that is you don't have a strong liking or a dislike towards anything, but you're somewhere in between, how do you express that? Well, don't worry, I've got you covered in this video. I'm going to share the usages that will help you express likes, dislikes, and when you're really unsure of it, or somewhere in between where you have a liking, plus there are instances where you don't like it that much as well. Let's get to those phrases. First, we look at the phrases that we can use when we like something, to express our liking towards something. Here, I have a list of words for you. These are phrases I can use to begin my response. For instance, I can begin with, I like mathematics. Or I can say, I love. So love is a word that expresses liking. I love mathematics. Or I can say, I adore kids. I adore babies. I'm crazy about adventures, which means I love going for adventures. Or I'm mad about something that you're deeply passionate about. You can even use that. I'm passionate about dancing. I'm passionate about reading. I enjoy. Well, definitely the word enjoy expresses your liking. I'm keen on is another usage. I'm keen on playing badminton. That means I love, I prefer, I enjoy it. I have a soft spot. Now this is, you can use for somebody. Okay, like I can say, I have a soft spot for people who help others. Okay, not for a thing, but for somebody, some person, some living thing. Or I can say, I think dash is, or brilliant, great, wonderful. Okay, like maybe, do you like collecting bags? I can say, I think collecting bags is wonderful. Or I think when collecting bags, it gives us a wonderful feeling. I'm into something. Like I can say, I'm into sports. Or I'm a movie buff. I'm into international movies. Or I can say, I'm into Malayalam movies. Or you can also express it as, I'm really, or very, or quite. Like, I'm really interested in. I'm quite interested in. Or I'm very much interested in. I'm very much interested in playing chess. So all of these phrases help you to express your liking towards something. So if you're positive about the question being asked, you can say, you can give your response using one of these phrases. Now what, for instance, you do not like something? So how do you express dislike? Well, here is a list of phrases that will help you. I don't like, outright and clear. I don't like to go for swimming. Or I can say, I dislike. I dislike sleeping late at night. I hate. I'm sure you're all familiar with this particular word. I hate drinking milk. Or I abhor. I abhor also is something that you strongly dislike. So this is a vocabulary you can add to ones that you're already actively using. I can also say I can't bear or I can't stand. These are usages. Like I can say, I can't stand people who lie. I can't bear people who come late to office. Or I detest liars. I detest people who are lazy at work. Or I loathe. Okay? And maybe you can also use I'm not keen on. Like for likes we say I'm keen on something. For dislike you can say I'm not keen on. I'm not very keen on playing video games. So these are some of the phrases that will help you express dislike. Now we also saw a third situation where you're somewhere in between, where you do not completely like or dislike something. In that case, how do we express ourselves? Well, here is a list to help you out. You can say, I don't mind. Like I can say, I don't mind waking up in the morning, but it shouldn't be an everyday case. Or, I don't really care either way. I can say, I don't really care. Either way works for me. If all are on, let's go for a movie, else it's fine, right? It's okay either ways. Yes or no, it's okay for you. Or it's all the same to me. Or even I think, or I think this, I think dash is alright, or I think dash are alright. So you can use these phrases if you do not fully like or dislike something, where you're somewhere in between. Now let's look at some examples. Look at this question on screen. Do you like your job? Let's look at a sample response. When you're positive about your job, you like it, how can you expand your response? And we'll also look at a second sample where if you do not like your job, how can you respond? Remember, just by saying I like my job or I don't like my job is not a sufficient response. You have to expand your answer by giving reasons. So here are some samples I've prepared for you. So let's have a look at them. I love my job. So this is a phrase I'm using to show my preference or my liking to my job. Do you like your job? I love my job. I don't stop at that. I continue. I've been with the same firm for over 8 years now. With the kind of appreciation I get every day and the acknowledgement of my hard work here, I think I'll stay in the job for many years to come. So I've already established the fact that I love my job, and this is my reason for liking my job. Now what if you feel the negative? You don't like your job. How do you respond? Here is a sample that I've made. I hate what I do. I hate what I do. I'm a senior accountant and I've become so bored with numbers and tallying that I sometimes feel I should be pursuing something more creative instead. So you've given your reason for hating your job. You're a senior accountant. You've become bored with numbers and tallying. You want to get into something more creative. So an explanation of why you hate or why you like something is given here. This, I would say, is a good sample. This is how you can prepare for your part 1 of speaking. Let's look at another example. Do you like driving? Here I've prepared 3 samples for you. 1, when I show my liking towards it. 2, when I do not prefer driving. And 3, when I'm somewhere in between. Let's look at the samples. If you like it, how can you begin? I'm so passionate. That's a usage here. I'm so passionate about vehicles and the art of driving that sometimes I feel I should start a business involving them so that I can drive different models. I think I should start planning this soon. See, you've built your reason for it. Why do you like it? Because you love vehicles. And why? You want to, try out driving different models, and you're planning on starting a business related to it. Now, what if you don't like driving? Of course, you can say, I don't like driving, I hate driving. Okay? Here is a sample response. I'm not keen on driving. Why? I once tried learning how to drive a car I had at home, but I failed miserably. I ended up wrecking the car and it eventually landed in a junkyard. I will never drive again. So this clearly shows I've had a very bad experience with my driving skills earlier on, which is why I've completely kept it away. I detest driving. What if I'm somewhere in between? This is how I can respond. I don't mind driving once in a while. So I've made it clear how frequent, not every day, once in a while. I don't mind. It's not a fully strong liking or a strong dislike towards driving. I'm somewhere in between. I don't mind driving once in a while. And I'm giving an example. Like when I go on family trips, I might switch my seat with the driver for a couple of hours, but nothing more than that. So I don't mind driving for a few hours, but wouldn't want to go beyond those few hours of driving. That clearly expresses my strong liking or disliking towards it. And in this case, because I began with I don't mind driving once in a while, it clearly states that it is not an all-time favorite of mine. With this, I hope this video has been helpful and you've learned some good new phrases that you can use to express your like, your dislikes, or when you are unsure and somewhere in between. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see some comments with some sentences framed using these phrases that I've just discussed today. Bye.
MedCity International Academy. Trusted hands forever.